Hello? Hi, friends. We did it. We have come to the final session of the Community Voices Playwriting Workshop on the Facebook. Wow, holy moly. My name is Katie Haroff, and I have been your humble host and the Community Voices program creator from the Arts Engagement Department with the Old Globe in beautiful San Diego, California. It's been such a hoot meeting with all of you and getting to know you through your plays. What a treat. I can hardly believe we're already at our 9th and final instructing session. All that's left is to make some final touches on our scripts and then to present them. This is just wonderful. I can't believe we're here. Today's session will be all about making those final decisions, as well as supporting you all in handing over your work to production for the next chapter of your new play, which is performance. If this is your first time tuning in, very cool. Welcome. You've happened upon our final session. The good news is that all of the previous sessions are still available on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And there is lots of reasons for you to stay and check out what we have going on right now. If you feel like developing your 10-minute play, all of this information is going to be here forever for you to come back to whenever you need it. The other good news is that today's session is going to be enjoyable to follow along, whether you've seen the previous sessions or not. So stick around. We're going to share some plays. We're going to share some wonderful insight on playwriting, and everybody's welcome. As always, I have my co-teaching artists who are here today, the wonderful Gil Sotu and Mickey Bale, and I'm going to share with them a check-in question, our final check-in question for today, so we had to make it a doozy. This one for today is, what is one little bit of writing advice that you'd like to share with all of the new playwrights out there that was once shared with you, or specifically when you were a new playwright? Let's start with Gil today. Gil, have you got a little bit of advice for the folks at home?
Yeah, so I scour the internet for just different advice as far as writing goes. And two that really stuck with me, one is a poet and one is a playwright. As a poet, from Billy Collins, who was the Poet Laureate of the United States. He wrote that poetry is the only thing that gives us a history of the human heart. And I really extend that to all types of creative writing. When you look back, they're not going to look back on the speeches that politicians gave. They're really going to look back at the art that was being created during that time to figure out what the people really felt about what was going on. And then the other thing is from August Wilson. This is one I just got. Plays must, of course, be accurate. They must be truthful, but not historically truthful, not factually truthful. Plays seek another kind of truth. They seek a psychological truth, an emotional or spiritual truth. And that really helps me to understand what the focus is when I'm trying to write my plays, and it's been invaluable.
Thank you, Gil. Gil's bringing the heavy hitters today. He really wants to. He really wants to leave you with some profound advice, and what two wonderful voices to bring into the room today. Thank you so much, Gil. Mickey, same question for you, my dear. Great to see your face today. What is one little bit of writing advice that you'd like to share with all of the new playwrights today that was once shared with you?
I have two bits.
Oh, right.
Okay. Bit one is something you said, actually, Katie, in our advanced Community Voices workshop when Danielle Amato came to tell us the things that the Globe likes, what the Globe audience is attracted to and drawn to. And as she was listing things, I remember sitting there thinking, that's not my play, and that's not me, and nope, that's not me either. And so I just felt off top that, okay, what I'm writing is not going to appeal to this audience. And then directly after that, you said that it's important to keep these things in mind, but also to use your voice. And that really resonated with me, to use my voice, to just continue to write what makes me happy and and speak my truth, speak my piece. So that was one thing that really stood out. And I also tell other people that to use your voice. And thing two is something I heard a few months back from a playwright who I don't remember the name, but it's write from your heart, edit from your mind, or write from the heart, edit from the mind, and just to get it all out, write, and don't worry about it being perfect, or don't worry about it being great. And then after it's all out, after it's done, then go back and edit and, you know, pick through it with the fine tooth comb after you've already gotten it all out.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us today, Mickey. I knew these two would bring some lovely deepness to this moment, and of course they did. And I remember that moment, Mickey. I remember very clearly. Our wonderful literary manager came and talked to our class about the kind of works that are celebrated at the Globe, and I think that sometimes it could feel like you might not be aligned with certain things. Like if, for example, you tend to write shows that are a little more adult, those aren't going to be perfect for a children's theater, and not all pieces are exactly right for the Globe. We tend to produce to a specific type of work that's excellent and wonderful and hopefully very inclusive to our very robust audiences. But I could also remember how that moment might make some people in the room feel like, oh, well, that's not necessarily me. But an addendum to that story that Mickey shared is that Mickey's voice is so authentically her own, and she did stick to her voice so beautifully that the Globe realized that it was a voice that we were missing on our stages, that we were missing in amongst our commissioned writers. So now Mickey is a commissioned playwright at the Globe. So those rules are meant to be broken, and they will be broken for people who are authentically themselves and rely on their voice to share their personal experiences, and don't shy away from that, no matter where you think you might not fit in. It's more valuable to be authentically yourself. So thank you so much for sharing those, Mickey, and thank you for just being wonderful. I just adore her. I'm sure you all do watching as well, and Gil. And speaking of people that I adore, I also have 3 actors with me today. One returning, our hardcore CV veteran, Jake Milgard. Jake really can go there with his role, so we're happy to have him with us again. Hey, Jake, thanks for being here. I'm going to adjust. Hey, I'm going to adjust this check-in question for your expertise, and I'm going to ask you, what is something that you wish a playwright would always include in their writing, if possible, so that you could be in that as a performer?
Yeah, I think my answer is similar to an answer that I gave when I was on here before, but I think I'll try to tweak it a little bit. So it's not the exact same thing, but I like working on pieces where the writer trusts the audience and doesn't tie everything up with a bow and say, here's the answers to everything. I want the work to strike up conversation. That's what I'm looking for.
That's perfect. And I remember what you said last time. I think it's a little different and a little bit more to the heart of what you were saying there. The playwriting is a collaboration. So putting some trust in your audience and the directors and the actors that are taking on your piece and allowing them to come to some of the conclusions without your direct pointing towards it is a really fabulous adventure in the world of theater. And having a play that can be open to different interpretations by the audience. We've said it before, but it's a huge gift. Actors love digging into a piece and making it their own. It's the same thing with directors and an audience. And once you invite the audience into the room, that's a whole other group of people that are going to come up with their own interpretation and their own connection to the work. So when playwrights don't specifically draw that line and tell us exactly what to think and feel and believe in every moment, we get to let the human condition of coming to our own conclusions come in, and then it becomes this beautiful, profound collaboration that's a lot of fun for actors. And I appreciate Jake sharing that reflection. Now I'm going to introduce my two new actor guests today. First, I'm going to bring up the wonderful Miss Erica Phillips, who is a fellow programs manager who works with incarcerated individuals through her fantastic Reflecting Shakespeare program. She's also a fabulous actress, and that's the hat she's going to be wearing today. And we're so happy to have you here with us, Miss Erica. Hi. I have this. Hello, I have the same check-in question for you. What is something that you wish a playwright could always include in their writing for you as an actress?
As an actress, well, I loved listening to those other answers. I was trying to think what else I could bring to the conversation, and mine are kind of my quirky loves, like things that show up that I really love. One is an element of the surreal, like something that that you read in a script and you think, I don't know how to manifest that. And it relies on the collaboration of the director, actor, designers, everyone to figure out how to manifest something. I mean, something really out of the park. You walk into the garden, the leaves start talking to the characters, just something very out of place. And I love using the audience's imagination to have to bring part of things to life. I think that's something about the beauty of the theater, that it can go there. And another thing that I really love is how comedy can be used in a drama. And often we'll talk about like alleviating tension with a joke, but for me, something that I really love is if there's a big joke or a laugh moment before an extremely poignant moment. And I feel as an actor and also as an audience member that I've been relaxed by the laugh, and then I'm caught off guard by the poignancy. And I can therefore, because my heart's open, I can experience that poignancy deeper. That's what I like.
I love that point. I love both of those points. That second one, I think, hits really to the humanity of live theater in particular, because it's a very shared moment, that moment of surprise where you're kind of caught off guard by the journey that a play can take you emotionally. I've certainly been in plays where I started in one arena of emotion, of like laughing, of thinking that I'm on a specific ride, and then the turn is very sharp. And when it's successfully done, it's riveting as an audience member and as a performer in that moment of that change. It's when it works really well in the audience, you can feel it in the air, which is such an exciting thing that a playwright can give as a gift to an audience and to a performer. Along with that, I love what you said about kind of just throwing something in a play, which is a style of a lot of playwrights, to kind of just give a stage direction and absolutely no instruction of how to accomplish that. In fact, more often than not, when a play gives a stage direction, there's no details on exactly how every element is nuanced. In some cases, there are exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, playwrights are just like, and then I need this to happen. And sometimes that this isn't just somebody entering a room. Sometimes it's somebody entering a room and immediately breaking into a rock concert and having the whole world transform into a rock concert, and you as a director and a performer needing to be able to capture that transition very quickly. And what an exciting obstacle to happen upon in a script. Now for a 10-minute play, for the producible side of things, I would suggest you keep those elements to a minimal. The bigger the production of a 10-minute play, the harder to produce, and it is only 10 minutes. But I think that's definitely something to keep in mind as you dig into building more universes in your plays and building longer plays. Get weird with it. Let us take on that task of helping to recreate your world as the artist. All right, and I have one last artist to check in today, and certainly not least, he is a marvelous performer, a recording artist, and a teaching artist joining us for the very first time, Mr. Kendrick Dial. Thank you for being here, Kendrick. And I have that same question for you, my friend. What is something that you wish a playwright could always include in their writing? Kendrick, you are on mute, my friend. We're live.
Yeah, I was just testing you.
Keeping me on the toes.
So when I think about the plays that stick with me the most, there's two things in particular that they have, and it's this element of just the wittiness in terms of the comic. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just in those timely moments, but also those aha moments. Like when I'm walking away, it's like when something happens and it's just like, I see how it all comes together. I see this connected to the characters being and whatnot which goes to the storytelling element of it. So I think that those things right there are what I really like cling on to.
Great. And I think you're probably sensing a trend in some of these thoughts and revelations from the actors. And I specifically wanted to share their perspective because they are a huge part of this collaboration of presenting a work on stage. And actors and directors are drawn to a certain type of work. And that work is work that is mysterious and exciting and revealing and funny and human and accessible, and something that can create a really exciting shared experience with the audience, whether that's through laughter or through deep twists or moments of realization. Those are the moments that performers really get to kind of experience with their audience while they're in a production. So of course, those are the moments that these performers would enjoy the most and recommend to you all at home, because they're some of the most enjoyable parts of live theater. All right, so we're going to jump right into our final chair warm up, and we're just gonna go for it today. We're gonna do a little yoga. It'll be nice and quick. But this is going to be a seated Tadasana, and we're going to have a little heart opener and some cactus arms. And for all of you that is complete gibberish to, no worries. I'm going to go over it step by step, and I'm going to have I have my little crew up who's going to support me, so I don't have to go through this alone. But first, let's take that glorious resetting deep breath. Take a long, deep inhale in, hold it at the top, and a long exhale out. And once that's done, let's do it again. Long inhale in, hold at the top, long exhale out. Great. Now go ahead and just work on your posture for a second. Continue to breathe. See if you could get into a nice, tall, straight up back posture with your feet planted on the ground. Go ahead and focus on your abs, your abdominals for a moment, and see if you could just kind of keep them nice and strong, and stacking your torso above them and your head right above your torso. Good. Now, keeping a soft bend in your elbows, go ahead and extend your arms overhead. If you have room, you can kind of reach them up this way instead, and keep your palms facing forward, and spread your fingers wide and align your wrists over your shoulders. Good. Now, inhale through your nose, reaching high with your hands. Don't shrug your shoulders up to your ears. And then exhale and go ahead and bring your elbows down to make these little cactus arms. Don't bring your elbows past your shoulders. Good. And the last little bit of this is just a little lean back. And if your neck feels healthy, go ahead and lean your neck back for a nice stretch. And come back up. We're going to do that one more time. Reach your arms up to the sky, facing forward. Go ahead and stretch up. And then bring them down into the cactus arms. And last but not least, go ahead and lean back. Oh, it feels nice. And go ahead and come back. And you can go ahead and put your arms down, see how that feels. I feel nice and tingly. If you like that at home, I encourage you to go through it a couple more times. The exercise I specifically read for that said do it 10 times to feel the benefit. And we don't have time for 10 times, but you do at home. I encourage you, go for it. And I also encourage you at home to take on this little ritual that I've given you each day of this exercise of resetting your brain for any art making moving forward. Being creative is this glorious opportunity for our minds and our spirits. And I hope that the act of this warm up or this reset brought an element of ceremonious peace to you as you moved through your creative process. And I encourage you all to create your own ceremony that helps to reset your mind and body whenever you're ready to get down and creative and embarking upon exploring art. Okay, so now we're going to move on to reading through our handout for today, which is also going to be our writing prompt for today. This is a pre-performance questionnaire specifically designed for you to think about your piece after you have completed it. So I'm going to invite Mickey back up, and she's going to go ahead and read through this questionnaire for us.
Please answer the following questions about your original work to your best ability. Question number 1. What would be a song to lead into the introduction of your piece? Question 2. What do you hope is next for this specific play? What is next for you as a playwright? And question 3. If you could tell the audience anything about your play or the process of writing it before they've seen it, what would you want to say?
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Mickey. And just so you know at home, that last little question is to prompt you to write your playwright's notes. A lot of plays have a note attached to them to kind of explain the process of the development of a script or to share a little anecdote that is relevant for those moving forward with the script to read. Oftentimes those playwrights notes are included in a program. And this particular handout has 2 purposes. First, it's for you to put that final cherry on the top of your play to make one more reflection about your finished product. And it's one more key to the folks that produce your work to make it exactly within the vision that you had hoped for it. Because now is that time that you hand off your work to the next world of your play, which is production and performance. If you've been following along with this workshop IRL in real time, we will be presenting selected works from those that have been sending them to us for a free performance presentation with professional actors next Thursday, right here on our Facebook page. If you'd like to be included in that performance, just please go ahead and send me your final draft by next Tuesday, May 5th. We're going to include this in our event page, and we'll have some post reminders about it. And those of you who've already been emailing me, I'll send you reminders and some follow-up. But now's a good time to jot that date down, especially for those who are working to finalize their plays now and have yet to send us anything. If you send me your final draft by next Tuesday, May 5th, we can include that in the consideration to be presented in that final performance. I would also like you all to please include this final questionnaire from today, so we may share some of your insight as a part of that reading presentation. When we end the Community Voices workshop, normally in the real world, we always invite participants to a reading celebration event where all of their friends and family can come and see their new work presented. And this is going to be that, but just as we've hosted this workshop, everything will be happening live online from the comfort and the safety of our own homes at this time. If you would still like to receive feedback on your scripts, we are still giving it. We'll be providing any feedback to any scripts that are submitted to us by this Friday, May 1st. So if you're still in the process, you haven't gotten feedback on your script yet, you could still submit it to us by May 1st. If you submit your work to be read live, I just want to go over a couple of things that we need you to know. First of all, severely, like really bad language will be altered for a more PG-13 presentation. So feel free to opt out on the F-bombs if possible. And I just want to say, I am personally not a fan of censorship in any way. There is plenty of purpose for the F word in theater. We just don't want to alert the Facebook elder big brother in any way of anything that we're doing wrong. So that's why we are altering that specific thing. And these will once again be read. We're going to do our best under those circumstances to cast as appropriately as possible, but you might have an actor or two reading a part that's not quite worked for them. And we're also going to attempt to make this reading a little more polished and rehearsed, something that you feel really excited to invite your friends to. But just know, just like the rest of the Zoom world that you've been watching, there are some limitations that we will be dealing with, and hopefully dealing with as beautifully as possible. We will attempt to keep this reading presentation under 90 minutes. If we have more material than that, and we may, it's looking like we may, we are going to host 2 readings. We're also going to let all this information when we get all of those pieces. So if you send us emails, we're going to be emailing you too. None of this is going to be a mystery. You'll get that information ASAP. But that's enough of I wanted to get through all of that information in the middle. I'll revisit it towards the end, because I'd like to spend our final session together doing something that we really love in this workshop and we really celebrate, which is we have 2 more plays that we're going to be reading today and discussing a little bit. So those of you at home who are just listening in, I hope that this gives you the chance to think about your own pieces, and if applicable, allow some of the feedback that we give these pieces to get you to a place with your own work where you're making those final choices and you're about ready to, send it in. And if some of you needed this push today, I hope that today's reading will inspire you to dive into the development of your own piece, no matter where you are in this process. And if you want to get your work in to be read, I think that you have time. You have until Friday to write a 10-minute play. And if you put a little bit of energy into it this week, you could be a part of our reading, and we'd love to have you. But now we're going to share some readings, because that's where this gets good. So if I could have all of the actors come up, we're going to read our first piece. Again, we're not going to say any of the playwrights' names at home, so no worries there. This play has 3 parts, so all of the actors will be reading in this, and then the marvelous Gil Sotu will be reading the stage directions. So go ahead and take us away, Gil.
Yes. We have Erica. Just before we start.
I do not think we do.
Oh, it looks like we lost an actress. Oh my goodness. Live technology. Okay, so I'm going to be playing.
It's your big chance, Katie. It's your big chance.
You're going to be Lydia.
This is my chance to be a star.
The spotlight's on you. No pressure.
I've always wanted to be a star. All right. Well, we're going to adjust for this, and we're going to dive into reading this with myself. Yes. So, Gil, but you could still kick us off?
Sure, no problem.
Great.
Liftoff. Characters: Tanner, early 20s male, easygoing, relaxed in his attitude and dress. Dressed like most other college boys dress, whatever is in the style at this time. He wants to experiment with what life has to offer rather than have a lifelong career established by age 25. At this moment in time, he would like Lydia to share his journey. Then we have Lydia, early 20s female. She is the girlfriend of Tanner, wants to be married and settled in the near future. She would feel more comfortable if Tanner would anchor himself earlier. And then you also have the lift passenger, male, late 20s, mysterious, shows no emotions, pale complexion, dressed in all black. Scene 1, college campus inside the dining commons.
We are just having some technical issues today in this reading. It is so exciting. So I'm going to continue on with the stage directions for Gil.
I cut off?
Yes, you did, sir. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, can you read that at Rise again for us?
Sure, no problem. At Rise, Lydia is sitting at the cafeteria table, just finishing her lunch as Tanner enters at a quick pace with a purchased lunch, a hoagie sandwich, and a large soda. He takes a seat across from Lydia.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
That's okay. Our next class was canceled.
Oh, good. Then I don't have to rush. Do you think Miss Wooters has a kid?
Right? I'll bet she'll be showing us pictures of her baby. Too bad, too. Our class was supposed to have a gallery of all our photos today.
It's good for me. I didn't finish my piece yet. I didn't read the instructions where it said all that had to be in black and white. 4 of mine were in color. I saw that last night and
Yeah, but I'm.
oh no.
Oh, I'm not. No, no. I was just. Oh, I'm back.
Erica, go ahead and mute yourself. Erica, we're going to continue with this reading. It's very exciting here. We're going to continue though. Sorry to you at home that this is your play. Kendrick, can you read that line one more time for me, my friend?
Yes.
Great.
It's good for me. I didn't finish my piece yet. I didn't read the instructions where it said they all had to be in black and white. 4 of mine were in color. I saw that last night and went, oh no.
I talked to
What are you talking about?
for when you move out after graduation in May.
That's still months away. I'm more concerned right now about passing my exams. Thanks for checking, though.
I would think you'd be excited about graduating and moving out of your parents' home. You and I having our own little place.
Of course I am. I just like taking things one step at a time. Plus, it doesn't hurt that they aren't charging rent.
You could have lived on campus.
In a little cracker box of a room, bunking with a buddy. Besides, I live only 11 miles from the school.
It would have taught you you're independent.
When you're the only child who's always scared of the parents, you learn to be independent.
But you're so isolated all the time. At least living on campus would have opened you up socially.
I have you. What more do I need?
They kiss.
And besides, not paying any rent allows me to be able to pay my way through college.
By earning money as a driver for Lyft with the car your parents got you for your high school graduation.
It was either a car or they were going to pay my college tuition. I chose the car so I could help pay for college. Independence. Besides, would you rather see me flipping burgers?
True, at least I can ride along with you while you're working.
Where you're not supposed to, but I love it when you pose like you're another passenger. You remember that time you tried to be fancy Swedish, be that fancy Swedish lady from Stockholm?
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Your accent was so bad.
I should have been a fancy French lady since I studied French.
Oh my God. Oh my, remember that time when we were out shopping and you saw the solicitor coming towards to hit you up for money and you pretended to be deaf?
And he actually knew sign language.
You should have seen your face.
Crimson, I'm sure.
Well, just be patient with me. I want to try a few things. Right now, I'm looking at what it takes to pilot's license. Hey, imagine that. If I got a job with an airline, I could take you anywhere you want to go.
Like Paris?
Let's try Sweden first. We'll work on improving that accent of yours.
You smart ass. I guess I'm a little more anxious about your future than you are.
What do you mean?
Where are you going to be in 5 years from now? Last year you wanted to be a bus driver, and the year before that you wanted to be the captain of a cruise ship. What if next year you find out that you want to be a landscape architect or an actor?
I have my whole life ahead of me to figure that out. I want to have choices and see where life takes me. Everyone's in a rush these days. Soon I think the ability to be patient will be phased over the next couple of generations. I can see that when I'm out driving, people reacting to gut instinct by laying on their horns because they have to be somewhere now.
He thinks of a particular instance and says under his breath and shakes his head.
Take a deep breath. I saw what happened to my uncle. He decided he was going to play in the Super Bowl. That's all he focused on. That's all he was interested in from junior high school through college, through years of training. By the time he was 30, he blew his knee and couldn't play anymore. He was totally lost and had no idea what direction to go next. He was already married, he had kids, a house. I simply just want to take my time and enjoy the journey. And I'd like to take you along.
I'm afraid I might lose you during your journey.
You might just as easily find someone else too. You have to expect that things in life would change, hopefully for the better. Life is always throwing you surprises.
My next class is about to start. Are you working tonight?
Friday night, bars will be hopping.
I'd like to go hiking tomorrow if it doesn't rain.
I'll call you.
Scene 2, inside a car. Tanner is in the driver's seat. It is close to midnight. Tanner is driving around the downtown area of the city looking for his next fare. He's having a conversation with Lydia.
So,
So what?
are you interested in going hiking tomorrow?
No rain?
Nope, Sunday now.
It's really foggy now.
I'm sorry about earlier today.
No problem.
You're right, I'm trying to rush things. Blame it all on my insecurities.
That's okay.
I was thinking,
Yeah?
all the careers that you've been interested in involve talking to people where they want to go, taking people where they want to go.
That is interesting.
Suddenly, Lydia disappears and Tanner has a sudden look of surprise on his face as he looks ahead.
Wow, what just happened? I think we just had a blackout. And now, of course, someone needs a ride.
He pulls the car over and leans over towards the passenger window.
You Tanner?
That's me. Come on in. What happened?
Huh?
Looks like we just had a blackout.
Oh, yeah,
Having a good night?
I was.
The wailing of an emergency vehicle sirens go passing by.
Maybe tomorrow will be better.
I doubt it.
Sure is foggy. Can barely see one.
I was supposed to be married. I was supposed to be getting married tomorrow.
Oh no. Was?
Yeah, guess the wedding will be off now.
I'm sorry to hear that. Did you two have a fight?
I wish it was that simple. No. The family suffered a tragedy.
Oh,
After I was married, I was supposed to take over family business. Runs a little market on the east side of town. See, my dad's been sick in the last year. He hasn't been able to run the store properly, so I've been helping out. I'm the oldest of the 7 children, and the store has been able to support all of us these years. My dad and I were the only ones who knew how to run it. I was the only one who could have kept the store running.
is it your dad that passed away?
No, but he doesn't have much longer.
Then what happened, if you don't mind me asking?
I was killed.
Excuse me?
I was killed just a few minutes ago.
Killed? I don't understand.
Yeah, those paramedics that just went by us,
Yeah?
right now they're arriving at a crash at 4th and Maple.
4th and Maple? That's where I just picked you up. What are you talking about?
The vehicle ran a red light, broadsided my car, killed me, and I think you too.
I think I'm going to let you off here if that's okay.
Let me ask you this. Can you feel anything?
What's happening?
What's the last thing you remember doing before you picked me up?
Texting my girlfriend?
End of play.
All right. Things are wild and fun here in this wild world of live broadcasting. Thank you for bearing with us, and thank you at home for sharing your play with us. It was a thrill for us to read through it. We actually got an updated draft of it today because Gil provided feedback to this person yesterday, and they gave us a little update. So that could be you, friend at home. Feel free to submit your work to us to get that good feedback so you can continue to develop your work. So we're going to just chat about this briefly before jumping into our next reading. So if I could have Gil and Mickey up, I just want to chat with you about this. Hey, Mickey, what about this piece were you interested in? Kept you engaged, kept you listening?
It was very suspenseful. I was just really curious where's this leading? I was on the edge of my seat.
I 100% agree. You built suspense and mystery around this piece in a very exciting and compelling way. I completely agree. We want to know. Every moment is kind of a little mysterious, especially as soon as the lift passenger gets into the car. And even in the beginning, there's this element of like, where is this specific scene going between these two people in this moment in this person's life? So Gil, what are you still kind of curious about? This piece is completed. So this is kind of a little bit of a, if we were to continue, if we were to dig a little bit more into this piece,
Right.
what kind of questions do you still have?
Well, I'm going to expose the magic trick and say that we just got the last draft of this minutes before we went back on air. And so I did notice the changes. So one of the things that I was really looking forward to understanding is what was he trying to say? What was the major theme in this piece? Like, what was he trying to say about this young man whose life was taken so short? And it seems to me that he wanted to really take life as it came and not worry too much about all like big things in the future, because you never know when life is going to be taken from you.
Yeah.
So I just I guess I would want to see that even more clear, and really how a little bit more of how Lydia felt about his philosophy.
I think that's a good little opportunity to utilize Lydia a little more in that moment as a device for potential foreshadowing. It's such a sharp turn to go from this conversation about hope with Lydia into this kind of mysterious moment. I would agree that it would be nice to have a little bit of a connection between those two parallels. And again, we talked a lot about like not hitting it over the head, but it feels like that would be a very subtle change to it. And I agree. And you kind of dug into the message of the piece, which is really where we want to make sure that we connect with you all on what is the overarching message of your work. And I would agree with Gil's take on it. Life is short. The value of it and how to live it is in the small details. And if that's kind of aligned with what you wanted to explore with your work, then right on. If there's something else that you want to make sure is included in that message, now is a good time to kind of look at it and see if there's any places that you can expand on the depth of that message. But once again, thank you so much for sharing. I do want to give you one teeny tiny note, and I want to give it live because I think this is an important note for everybody. There's a stage direction in the piece that it's very clear that you are a theater person, that you have a particular way that you want this to look in the theater when you can't have a car. And it's really exciting. You're making some production choices there, which are great. However, when the two characters are texting in the piece, it is okay if that is a mystery to the audience, but you can't keep that as a mystery from the director and the actors in the piece. They need to know what you're envisioning there. So maybe fine-tuning that stage direction into the specificity of what you want to have happen in that moment, or more directly, giving a note to the director. What I think you wanted was to say, I don't want it to be clear that this character is texting right now, but I do want him to be communicating with Lydia, and have the reveal later be that it was because he was texting with Lydia that he's gone. Yeah, so say that to the director, and then the director will take it upon themselves to figure out how to promote that mystery in the staging of it. But you can't hide that in the play, because it took us as the performers and the readers a couple of minutes to figure out what was happening there. And that's precious time that we want to help you figure out your vision. So yes, part of the stage directions is directly communicating to the director what you want to have happen, including what kind of mysteries you want to be revealed later for the audience. This is their key with you. They are in cahoots with you, and it's only between the two of you where you're collaborating and presenting this work where your full vision can really be finalized. So don't hide those things from your director. But it was fabulous to read. Thank you so much for sharing. And we are going to go ahead and jump right into reading our next script today. And I think I have Erica back with me, which wonderful. You're gonna love having her read too. Let's just make sure right quick. So this piece, we're going to have Erica and Jake, take on the roles, and then Kendrick is going to be reading our stage directions. So Kendrick, go ahead and take it away. And just so you know, this piece is a not completed piece at home. Gotcha. Go for it, Kendrick.
Days lurch, weeks fly. Characters: not Karen, female at the very beginning of her 50s, single without children, although she has always wanted them. She works in theater. Luna, 10-year-old female, formerly feral cat, deceased. Setting: San Diego, spring 2020, daytime. At Rise, a cluttered studio apartment, a queen-size bed takes up most of the room. There is other furniture around the perimeter of the room. Every surface has things stacked on it except the bed and half of the sofa. Not Karen sits on the sofa watching TV. Luna comes in, jumps up on the bed, and lies down all curled up.
What the hell?
Shh.
Who are you? Where did you come from?
You know who I am. That lady found me on a street when I was a baby and brought me to you.
You died last summer.
I know, I was there.
Not Karen looks at a brown paper bag taped to the wall next to her with hash marks counting days.
Okay, day 36 of my COVID confinement. Of course, I'm having a conversation with my dead cat.
Trying to sleep over here, Karen.
How can you be tired? You're dead. You know that's not my name.
Well, then don't act like one. If you get your stuff together, I could be napping on a cloud enjoying the sunshine right now. You know, Godiva's probably taken my spot by now. Jojo, that dude.
Wait. The three of you are together?
Obviously, Karen, why wouldn't we be?
First of all, don't be a bee, you're not a dog. And secondly, Jojo and Godiva overlapped lives, so I get they'd find each other, but you hate other cats. I have the scars to prove it.
Well, you shouldn't have gotten in the way. I was defending our home.
Again, you're not a dog. You were never going to get that cat through the metal security screen door. Hey, why did you keep climbing up that screen door if you couldn't get back down by yourself?
I couldn't, or I was never allowed.
You would meow at me to come and fetch you, and then hiss because your claw had gotten good and stuck.
You weren't always gentle when getting me down, and it wasn't an invitation to cradle me like a frickin' baby.
Now who's being a Karen? So Jojo and Godiva, how'd you end up with them?
Well, I crossed the bridge and was looking for a cloud and some solitude.
Liar.
Karen, who's telling this story?
My name is not Karen. Continue.
So I was looking for my fortress of solitude.
Nice grab.
Thanks. And this tuxedo dude was just there. And I tried to get rid of him, but he wouldn't go. And everywhere I went, he was just there. You know, he didn't say much, just curled up and purred. Strong and silent type, just exuded comfort and love.
Godiva?
That girl knows how to work a room. I think she has a route, you know, she has a lot of love to spread. And since she's all white, she can blend in easier in the real world when she goes back. She doesn't even need to have met a person in life. She feels someone needs her, she just goes. You felt her before I lived with you. She didn't materialize then. She thought it would be break. She thought you would break you for good.
All right, and that's where we are right now with this piece. It's about at the halfway point, and it's in really good shape, and it's a lot of fun. And we're just going to have a discussion about it because we want to support you at home to get to your ending, so that we can share it next Thursday. So let's bring my teaching artist back up here. Hey, y'all. Hey, Gil, what about that piece kept you connected and interested?
Actually, I love this. I always love when people build worlds within their pieces, which is really brave and advanced especially for a 10-minute play. And I also, in hearing this the second time, I love that we have a kind of the person or the cat that's telling the story is unreliable. Like he doesn't call him by her real name. She calls him a liar, so you don't know if he's really telling the truth. So that makes it more intriguing and more interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you. I love the character of the cat, just in general, and like what we're going to learn from this cat and what's going to be real and what isn't, and how this cat messes with not Karen is really just a very, very funny element. And you're playing with the humor of this moment so wonderfully, and have given such a great gift of this cat to an actor. And I'm not sure what your intention of this cat is at home. And just so you know, you might want to make a specific choice of how you want Luna to be represented, or not. You know, there might be an opportunity for a director to do something really fun with that. But if you had a specific thing in mind, like you wanted like an animatronic cat, we've had an animatronic cat on stage at the Globe that we have like a voiceover for, or if we cast a really talented cat actor, of which I know none, and that there's still like a voiceover, or if, in my personal favorite, if you want to have a physical person play a cat, how enjoyable. And I think Jake did a really fun job of kind of capturing the spirit of a cat like Luna. And what a fun gift to give an actor to be able to play something like that, something unorthodox, and something that we kind of get to explore, of combining our own personality with an animal. That's a lot of fun. Mickey, I want to ask you, my dear, what are you still curious about? You're muted, Mickey. Everybody's muted today. I made a joke about everybody remembering not to be muted. I cursed ourselves in our rehearsal. Yeah. I said, everybody remember to unmute. And it didn't happen. Everybody muted. It's the last day. It's not.
It's the opposite day. It's the opposite of what you say to do. And I also think Jake is an amazing cat, just the perfect snooty cat. I'm curious what Luna's mission is. What's she there for? What's going on? And I was also very curious what that last part where Godiva, where Luna says that it would have broken not Karen if Godiva materialized. What's that about?
Yeah, I'm interested in that. You left us right in the right place. You set up this world. You set the rules. And now we want to know the story, or this fictional story that Luna is going to be sharing, and again, what is making her visit at this time? What is her personal mission for being with not Karen in this moment? Also, I love the not Karen joke. What a great little joke to plop in there. And so this piece isn't finished, but just like as a little wrap up, Mickey, if you had to guess what kind of message you think this playwright wants to explore with this piece, or if you're getting some hints at the beginning, what do you think it might be?
It seems to me like not Karen has something going on inside that she needs to resolve or make peace with.
Yeah, and I think it's lovely. I mean, I would agree with that. And I think that it's lovely if it's going there, because it's starting in such a fabulously surreal and funny way. And this is a really great backdrop to deal with something like mourning the loss of a pet. And it's such a unique situation, because in a lot of ways pets mean something so profound to us, but we also have these kind of silly relationships with them while they live. And so I think you're doing this beautiful job of honoring both the depth of this relationship and also the specificity of a cat and the things about a cat that make them funny and special in our lives. So thank you for sharing that. I can't wait to read the rest of it. This is a really good moment for everybody that's watching today. I'm about to wrap everything up. But if anybody has any questions or anything that they just like to share, if they just want to say hi to me, I'll say hi back. It's so nice that you've all been following along, and I know many of you watch this at different times and send me your work after you've watched it late at night. And it's just been really fun connecting with all of you. But if you have any questions, go ahead and plop them in the comment section below. But if you're a shy person, like some of you have been and have decided to email me directly questions, that's good too. I will be happy to receive your questions there and respond there. But I want to take one more moment before I pop into the Q&A to see if, to just give you those final instructions on how to be included in our presentation for next Thursday. First, finish your play. If you haven't submitted it for feedback and would like some, go ahead and please do that by this Friday at 5 p.m. So you have a little bit of time to finish it, and you'll have a little bit of time to get some feedback from us. Next, go ahead and fill out the handout from today and make sure that you include it when you send me your final piece, which I am going to request all final drafts to be considered to be a part of that reading are due to me by Tuesday, May 5th. And you can send them directly to me at my email, which is kharoff@theoldglobe.org. There it is. There it is. Always available for you. And we're going to reach back out to you to confirm that your piece will be part of the presentation. If we get a heap of final drafts, which it seems like we might, we will be separating the performance into 2 different readings. And we're going to let you know when we respond to you as well when your specific reading will be happening. And that's all I wanted to reiterate at the end of today. So I'm just going to go ahead and see if anybody has any questions for me today. Someone just said hi and thank you, and that they've loved every minute. Well, I have flippin' loved every minute too. If there's no questions, that's totally okay. And again, you are welcome to email me. I know some of you will just email me the questions. You don't want your questions to be live. I get it. Hopefully you'll want to share your plays live too. Oh, and speaking of that live performance, if you want to share your play, but you still want to be anonymous, that's an option too. You don't necessarily have to put your name as the playwright, but I hope you will, so that you can be proud and advertise for your own reading that will be happening. But we could talk about that in my email inbox. And if that's it for our Q&A today, yep. I just want to take a moment and thank you all very personally for tuning in and being with me every Tuesday and Thursday for the past month. This transition has just been a really weird one for me personally. And this time with all of you and connecting with this digital audience has honestly just been a huge blessing for me personally. And getting to know all of you has been lovely. I want to also take this time to let you know that I'll be back after our reading presentations on our page to start 2 new play development and playmaking workshops with the quarantine community. So you'll see my face again very soon. On Tuesdays, starting in late May, I'll be co-hosting a workshop with the marvelous Globe literary manager, Danielle Magis-Amato. This is going to be all about the process of supporting playwrights in moving forward in their play development. And this workshop is going to be called Playwrights Unstuck. And I hope you'll all join us on Tuesdays. And then on Thursdays, also in late May, I'll be hosting a new workshop called the Living Room Play Workshop, where I'm going to instruct people to develop and produce their own site-specific performance pieces in their own living rooms. It's going to be so cool. And I hope you'll join us in those new endeavors, and you're going to keep your eyes peeled as those events pop up on our pages here and in the next couple of weeks. And I'm really looking forward to our reading presentation next week and sharing all of your fabulous work. So you'll see me there again next Thursday. I'll be talking to you in the emails, and good luck on your process. Have a really great time with it. I hope it's fun. It's been so fun being with all of you. Happy writing, everybody. I'll see you next week.